Shalom, giving all praises. Excuse me. Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai Bashem Rakakwadash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of you elect out there. Shalom to you all. The only ones that will get this truth, 100% truth, are the elect. The only ones that will be delivered from this destruction, coming destruction, are the chosen elect. Anyway, I'm going to make this short, and I'm going to entitle this video, Onebody now teaches that we never came over here in slave ships. I might change it up a little bit, shorten it down. But anyway, I'm going to let you listen, and I'm going to close. I might say a few more words to see where the Spirit takes me.
Things to you. Some of you might not like, some of you might understand, some of you might move forward. But I'm going to say this about these brothers and sisters out here about this slave ship thing. It's just showing you how strong of a stronghold that the lies have your mind in. To believe in something that no one is investigated. No one has investigated nothing about history. This is a spiritual book.
That's right.
This is not a corner book. We got this whole thing about us being on a ship is so important to the movement that people are arguing with you over that and have no understanding. Haven't did no, everybody are I heard what I'm seeing or basically regurgitated. All they do is spew out what somebody else said. If you're going to become new, how you going to be still speaking the same thing?
That's right.
To me, you ain't new, you still old. But a lot of people, they don't want to believe that. See, they want to believe in the false narrative that Nat Turner killed 60-some people. Prove it. Prove these things. Don't just pass lies. See, we easy to pass.
Now we got to all become scholars and historians and archaeologists. And we're going to have to go on. Now we got to prove, we got to dig up, we got to find that warehouse where all the cargo slave ships were taken to. We got to find that, we got to be like Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. So we just can't, when you go to Deuteronomy 28 and 68, controversial scriptures, mainly with the Christians, they say, well, that doesn't apply to us. That damn sure does apply to us, man. That's the main, and the main scripture you hit, if you're trying to tell somebody they're Israelite, and that the so-called blacks that came over here in cargo slave ships, we did come over here. Ask any Jake, how did our foreparents get over here to America from West Africa? In cargo slave ships. It was known as the transatlantic slave trade, which was a part of the transatlantic. I believe that's trade, but slaves had part to do with it because they had certain raw materials that came from England, certain parts of Europe, mainly England. That was big. Went to Africa, dropped off supplies among the West Africans, and gathered jakes and put them in slave ships, and then sailed to the Americas, dropped off the slaves, and got more material, and went back to sell back to Great Britain or Europe, let's say. That's why it's called a transatlantic trade, which consisted, part of the transatlantic trade was slaves. So they were making money. They were making money from raw materials to get the slaves. They would get the slaves. They would make money from dropping the slaves off to the Americas and coming back with other materials to come back to England or Europe. So if an individual can't see, you go to Deuteronomy 28. You can read throughout Deuteronomy 28. But the 6th verse I'm focusing on, if a person can't see that, with another couple of precepts, if they can't see it, then just, as Abba said, just forget them. Just forget them. If they can't see that, like vocab's gonna say, that's talking about during the time of 70 AD. It's not talking about the time of 70 AD. It's talking about us coming over here in America. Or they'll say America is also known as Egypt. You goddamn right it is. Revelation 11:8 tell you that. Spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. So we know it's not talking about actual Egypt. And Sodom is not in the land of Egypt. So, and the scriptures say spiritually called. So that place spiritually called Egypt is not Rome, it's not Jerusalem. It's this place right here. It's America. It's Babylon the Great. Anyway, like I said, I was gonna say a few words. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom. On to the next one. Shalom.